Sex, let me repeat, sex is one of the most delightful, it's not just one of the most, it's the most delightful experience a man and woman can have. And why is that so? It is because sex is a way in which physically we journey ourselves into the me. Now, many people don't quite understand what sex is. And they spend all their years just enjoying the pleasure of sex, which is okay. But the problem is that they do not know why is sex most delightful for them. Let me say a little bit about it. Sex is very delightful and physically delightful is because nature or the whole universe itself wants you to experience presence. It wants you to discover me. And so it forces you to enter into each other. It forces you to enter within. But unfortunately, for most people, when they enter within, they could not sense the me. What they only experience is pleasure. And so they go through life experiencing pleasure without realizing me. Nature or the universe wants you to experience presence. And not just physical me, no, not that. It wants you to realize the one true presence of which this whole reality arises from. And so in every person, in every identity, this sexual pleasure is embedded into them so that they would be able to find me. However, many people just go for the pleasure and they forget to find me. The whole universe is experiencing sex. The process of uniting into one is everywhere. There is, of course, just one soul. But yet, mysteriously, that one soul can be divided into two. So you have the male and the female. But the interesting thing is that the male needs a female to complete the picture, in the same way that a female needs the male to complete the picture. It's like a jigsaw puzzle that we must fit in. But notice very carefully, the male has to penetrate into the female. In other words, the male has to go inward. And the same thing is happening with the female. But instead of penetrating, the female has to allow herself to be penetrated. So either of them have to experience inwardness, for that's the key to the me. There is no presence of me without that inwardness. Without allowing yourself or another person to be inward, you can never have the joy of the presence. So there are people who want to live life fully dressed. They prefer to cover themselves up all the time. If you want to talk to them about themselves, they will withdraw. And even if they talk about themselves, they have a way of camouflaging here and there. So you will never be able to enjoy the delight of your own presence if you keep covering up yourself. You have to allow inwardness, somebody to enter within you, or yourself to enter into the other person fully, so that there can be the joy and delight of the one presence. I use the word me. Yes, correct. But me is very badly understood. But physically, if you want to understand me, that's easy. That's your son. When there is a union between male and female, the son is born. And that is me, right? Because your son is yourself, right? But then that's physically understood. There is a presence deep inside us which we must give birth to. If you don't give birth to that one presence from within yourself, you have not lived. You would not experience eternal life. Why? Simple. Eternity is about having a son, and having a son to give birth to another son. That's how eternity is. In the very same way, we must give birth to the presence within us so that we can experience eternity.